Welcome to Living on the Ocean. Episode 14 already, anchored in Alvor with the Trimarans Dawn and Twilight. I don't think I have to say much of why I'm here. This place is stunning. On quiet days like this, even when the sun doesn't shine, the sandbanks, the birds on the sandbanks, the surroundings, the smell, it just re-energizes me. I keep on coming back to this place. When I feel tired, when I need energy, this is the place to be. The always changing colors of the water, the sandbanks appearing and disappearing with the tides. It's just a place that feels like a battery charger to me. This is a place where I can build. This is a place where I can be creative. This is a place where I can do things that on other places I just simply feel like I have no energy for. But here, in this beauty, between all those boats, the old ones with the beautiful lines, the beach, and the fantastic village of Alvor, an absolute jewel in the middle of the Algarve. From here I can sit on a terrace, have a cup of coffee and dry the sails of dawn. Or, in the distance, look at Twilight, who is already coming here for years. I came here the first time in 1999. There wasn't a walking bridge like this. It was just sand and beach. But it has developed, and it's created a fantastic place to go to. More and more people are finding it now. It used to be quite empty, and it's not an easy entrance with its sandbanks and keelboats, inclusive myself, often run aground here. But for multi-hulls, it's a paradise. The sunsets in this place are absolutely stunning, never the same, and every time taking your breath away. After a day work, we often visit one of the many cafes and restaurants here to have a beautiful look over the sea, over the bay, over this beautiful lagoon, and enjoy how the evening slowly falls over Alvor and dream away in the distance of where we can go with our boat and forget all the hard work we still have to do. Early in the morning, the day after we arrived here in Alvor with Trimaran Dawn, when it's still nice and quiet, I move her to the position that Trimaran Twilight had, and as he's laying on that mooring, in a fantastic spot right next to the sandbank towards the west, towards the place where the ocean is, where the big storms come from. She's in a glorious position there, and I think she's soaking up the sun in this place. But what did we do with Trimaran Twilight? Well, we just dropped her on the sandbank for now, because we need to be working to make a good position for her, to make something that's strong enough. And I've seen a lot of things go wrong here, so we start getting a very big swivel. I don't believe in stainless steel. I've seen too much rotting away in this bay with its brackish water, where even bacteria eat away stainless steel. No, I make a 5-point mooring with chains and temporary with ropes in between till the anchors are digged in well. Actually, it becomes a 6-point mooring. Now we will hang on this, pull in the anchors, tighten the ropes, and replace slowly all the ropes with chain. We will not go anywhere. The only thing we now need to know, are we too close to the sandbank? And then we get a very low tide. Perfect to check out if we're far enough from the sandbank. The sandbank is quite steep and we're okay here. And this very low tide gives me other opportunities. Because when the tide absolutely reaches its lowest spot, I have an opportunity to dig in the anchor that we put towards the sandbank. In this case an aluminium fortress, an incredible good anchor in strong hard sand, especially when you dig it in. And the wind exceeding 50 knots here sometimes from this direction, I trust that. And not very long after that we do indeed get a very strong southwest wind. And what's laying there on the beach the next morning? Eagle, the massive catamaran that's always in the middle of this bay. It's on the beach, that only little bit of beach in between the rocks. Left of it is rocks, right of it is rocks. How did it end up there? Who put it there? I know in the middle of the night one of the new boats was dragging and I saw them busy. But I didn't see or hear anything from Eagle. How did this massive cat drifted in between all the other boats, landed on exactly the beach right next to the ramp for the lifeboat, without even damaging its propeller or rudders? He could not have ended up on a better spot, and if this is pure luck, this man should play the lottery this year. Well, we learned that night the metal eye in the heavy concrete block has been broken, and he got off his mooring. I'm very happy with my 5-6 point anchoring. But then, having said that, we end up on the sandbank as well. We've come off our mooring, but voluntarily. We want to check out the underneath of Dawn, and what a better place than this fantastic sandbank. Seeing Alvor from this side is actually very beautiful, I think, and I feel very privileged that I can be here, having been here already so many years with all the different Trimarans I had, coming here the first time in 1999 with Trimaran Trinity, and then with Hunkadory, after that with Trimaran Twilight, in between with a ferro cement boat with which I run aground on this sandbank called Ocean Pearl, and now with Trimaran Dawn. It's beautiful up here and I love the animals and the birds, the water going up and down, and it brings back memories. Seeing also the boats and remembering boats that we pulled off the sandbank, boats that we hauled off in the middle of the night from going on the rocks and actually landed them with our help on the same bit of beach where Eagle ended up, because it's the only spot over there and normally the place where the wind brings the boats to. But now being here voluntarily, to check out why this boat steered so difficult, and it's actually no wonder. Look how wide this rudder blade is. Cheryl needed to hold the helm in between her legs, and with all her might she had to push. And then, oh no, a stainless steel connection on an aluminium rudder. It might be strong enough with all the forces that we already had on the rudder, but being once almost rescued from the middle of the ocean for a broken stainless steel rudder connection, not again, that's gonna change. Check out Atlantic, Blue Outs and Portuguese Men of War, our trip with Trimaran Twilight in 2020. Well, we measure what kind of anodes we need and we put a temporary one on there till we get the right ones. We also check out this missing plug which holds the grease in this propeller with a variable pitch, which is going quite heavy without the grease. So I fill it up and I put a temporary plug in there as well. Now the only thing more to check for us is the bow thruster. We'll make a temporary anode on there as well. Now we have measured all the sizes. It's a pity that there's not much documentation of any of the equipment of this boat, but this way we get there too. And the sandbank is just next door. Well, after our work, we rafted up Dawn and Twilight. And it's actually quite interesting to see how petite Twilight is compared with the massive Dawn. a much taller mast and much stronger profile. In length, it's not that bad of a difference. Twilight is 12.5, Dawn is 16.5, and in width that makes a big difference. Twilight is only 6 meters 70, and Dawn, she's 10 meters wide with much higher beams. Her floats are a lot higher. I think this picture shows it great. Dawn and Twilight together. And I think this almost classes as a catch. 6 Tentmaran, or however you would say that. In the evenings we go to shore, and the restaurants and cafes where we come, they give us paper tablecloths, and not for nothing. They always give me a pen, and there I just work out ideas. Sketch, plan, don't get shocked, it's probably not what we're gonna do, but I've just done it my whole life. I draw more in my books at school, boats, than what I should be writing down. And sometimes it's not even serious, it's just something I saw that looked nice here on the coast. A boat from one of the fishermen that I know well. It's maybe the wine that helps the creativity, who knows, or the crazy ideas. Back at the boat, with more serious paper, I start to work things out. Maybe still not what we're gonna do, but I get a better idea, and one thing is for sure, her weight needs to go aft. She needs an aft cabin, no more water coming in from following waves, and those pillars need to come off the back that carry the radar. Well, we're getting a rough idea what we want to do, and the days pass from one beautiful sunset to another. But to be able to do anything, the next day, a big job starts. To be able to do anything, we need a good electricity system. We're not on a quay, we have no shore power. And the old equipment is still in. We made temporary, from a very well-known marine manufacturer for equipment, this quick plug-in system to make some equipment work. But the old cables are still all there, all disconnected, but they need to be taken out. And for that we need to crawl to cupboards from one place to the other, pull out cable by cable, take all this mess out and organize it to make place for our solar regulators. We have the 4 panels, we have the 2 regulators. Now we have power, the batteries are charging without the engine running. Well, having this done, we now also were able to connect our new battery charger and our new inverter, nicely put away in a cleaned up cupboard, with cables that I know where they go and where they're from. And with doing all this, we kept all the cables of the radar intact without cutting it. Because I know this is valuable to the fishermen over here, even when I find it too heavy and clumsy for this boat. And it means I can get rid of those 2 pillars on the back. So after that, it's getting the saw in the pillars and simply chop them away. Now look at Dawn now. I think this looks already a lot better than this funny looking sticks on the back of her stern. It's normally very beautiful weather here in the Algarve in the south of Europe. But winter is coming and rain season comes with it, and we definitely need a tent to be able to do the job I want to do, against the rain, against the cold, and to keep the dust in the vacuum cleaners. And that's how the day continues again. But in all our work, nature is giving us a beautiful rainbow over Alvor. Something I like to see, and Cheryl absolutely adores. We now know on which little boat the pot of gold is, right over there. I take my time to build a very strong wooden frame from light pieces of wood with lots of little side parts and basically building triangles. There will be big storms over here and this thing is not allowed to come apart. And when that's done, I cover it with plastic and I make sure it's tied down well, because this thing has to keep up in the winter and in a storm. I simply cannot work if I cannot rely upon a dry place to do it. I have to take those winches off and have to cut this boat completely open. It needs to be dry, it needs to be solid, and I think the job worked out very well. The tent done, the sail goes up on the next quiet day, drying that beautiful mane and taking some fantastic pictures of this funny looking trimaran with its massive aft cabin. It probably will turn a couple heads, but it doesn't matter. The days have passed and the work is done. And when the sun goes down in the winter in the Algarve, it does get cold. I'm used to it and I cover up for it. I don't mind, it's fresh air to breathe and I love it. But this boat has luxury. Actually, it has a diesel heater. It doesn't work yet. But I start putting time into it, trying to clean out those pipes, clean the whole carburetor and everything of it. And the end result? We are not gonna have a cold winter this year. Not in the evenings and the nights and the mornings. And definitely not in the daytime, with a beautiful sun shining over the Algarve. Thank you for watching Living on the Ocean, episode 14, The Dreamy Anchorage of Alvor. Thanks to all my subscribers. I'm completely amazed, but we're almost at 500. And that's what you have done for me. It's a great encouragement. Thank you for your comments, your likes. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, there's a button to click for you right here. I hope to see you in the next episode.